So, I figured it's time for another video. I've been working on this lately, a Kuva Nukor. I decided that it was time that I get a secondary Kuva weapon as well, and this seemed like the most obvious choice. And from just messing around with it a little bit, it seems like it's a miniature Larkspur, like a handheld, easy to use Larkspur. May not have the aim latch that it does, but it certainly branches out like the Larkspur does. Uh, Also, I want to quickly address that someone in one of my last few videos was mentioning that I should show testing and using the weapons, so I'm going to start trying to incorporate that. Um, so yeah, this is the build that I have. I mainly wanted to put pistol ammo mutation just because since there are Excellus slots, I figured might as well use them. And yeah, so build seems pretty simple. I got it with innate radiation, and then I built it for corrosive on the side, and then of course had to add on the base damage, and then the crit chance and the crit damage. Of course, if you don't have the primed versions of Pistol Gambit and Target Cracker, you can use the base versions, but primed is always better, especially on these where you have bonus capacity anyways. Barrel diffusion, multi-shot, almost a necessity in my opinion. Uh, Multi-shot truly is just invaluable, uh, especially with this. Lethal torrent, fire rate, and multi-shot. You'll see why very quickly why fire rate is so important. And then it also gives a little extra multi-shot, so we're almost at 3 multi-shot. Gunslinger for a little more fire rate for 23.2 total. And then pathogen rounds and convulsion in order to uh, create the corrosive effect. And then of course pistol ammo mutation just to get more ammo. So that's the general build that I'm going to use on that. I have a very simple buffer rhino that I'm using. And to do this test, I'm not going to run into the regular missions. I'm going to go to Steel Path, and I don't have anything opened up there. So let's pick somewhere here. Exterminate. Alright, how about this? So the main reason that I want to test all this in Steel Path is because if it melts things in Steel Path, it's just going to delete things completely and utterly in regular gameplay. And to me, I think it's a better test than something else. So to get some energy, and there's a big cluster over there too. So Kuva Nukor, armor up. I'm gonna do without a damage buff because this has a significant damage buff on it whenever I use Rhino's third, his roar. So I don't want to give it too much up front. So here, let's go. I think that's pretty good. Again, these are Steel Path level enemies, and as you can see, it's just chaining, and then on top of that, it's melting the targets that we're shooting, like easily too. This is no external damage buff, just with those mods, and no riven either. And that's the other thing that I find most impressive about this. Just goes through and very quickly just melts them, shreds them to bits. So now, let us find another large group of enemies, and let's use Rhino's Roar. Here we go. Not a large group, but Rhino's Roar, and even faster. So, Rhino's always been a favorite of mine. I used him from the very beginning, and he's just very well-rounded in my opinion. So yeah, that's just a quick little demonstration of the Nukor's strength and what it has the potential to do. Of course, with a Riven, you can take this build even farther. My personal recommendation for a Riven build, yeah, and this is where we're going to have to go underground, which I don't want to do, but my personal recommendation for a Riven would probably be to get it with multi-shot and either fire rate or base damage for positives, or all three, and then a negative on zoom. Uh, that's just my personal opinion on it, but yeah, that's a pretty simple build for the Kuva Nukor, in my opinion. Again, I'll show that right here. And this is something that I feel like the majority of people who are hunting Kuva weapons should be able to attain. So, there we go. And just so you know that it's nothing crazy, my Rhino's Roar gives 144% damage increase. So it's not a chroma where you're getting hundreds of percent extra. It's a little bit of a buff, little bit of a enhancer, and it's nothing too crazy. So, hope y'all enjoyed. Hope this helps some people build for their Kuva Nukor, and if you get a Riven, good luck, and it's going to be even stronger than this.